when I trained fighters, like my fight gym was one of the biggest in the country.
Yeah.
But I never trained a world champion from the first day on. And it always, I had guys that were in the UFC, a ton of guys in the UFC, Strikeforce, all the big organizations back then. And, but never had that world title. And, so from the outside, people could look and say, well, you've accomplished all of this stuff.
Yeah.
But, I know I haven't reached that goal of training a guy that ended up being a world champion.
Are you going for it? Are you going to get back to it?
I retired. I retired in 2012
Okay.
From coaching, just career change.
Got you.
And so that was one of the things that I was grappling with because I was like, there wasn't a lot of money in training fighters. I sold my clothing line.
Yeah.
And which we were the largest supplier of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu martial arts uniforms in the world.
Jeez.
So I sold that in 2011 and still had my fight gym, but I was like, and we kind of had a turnover with fighters. There was, sometimes that happens at gyms where, fighters leave and you got to kind of start back over.
Start over, yeah.
And I was like, okay, even if I did, and I would have eventually trained a world champion. I know that. But there wasn't hardly any money in it. And I'd lost my passion.
Yeah.
And I'm like, if I don't have the passion for it and I'm not making money and I'm just chasing that goal, it's not worth it. If I had the passion, it would have been worth it.
Man, it's so crazy how parallel to the music business what you were doing is. Like being a coach, having a gym is the same as me being a producer, having a studio.
Yep.
And my goal was to bring artists through, try to train them up, get them in position to be great.
Yep.
It is so tough to do, man.
It is, man. No, that's why
trying to find a champion.
That's it. Try to find a champion who's willing. And it's really like, they got to have the talent and they got to be willing to work harder than everybody.
Man,
that's it. And so that's that. Yeah, I totally. When you said, I'm like, oh, I get that, man.
Come on, man.
But so you're still passionate about it, which is good.
Yeah, well, I am. And here's the thing, man. I love what I do, and I have so many ways of like surviving. Like I do well in music, so it's not like I'm, trying to figure out how to live and all this that. And, so I love it, but I do still think, man. I'm like, bro, I just want that championship moment, man. Yeah. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Let's go.
Nothing. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
I mean, I changed my passion from that to healthcare.
I love it.
And same thing. It's like, that's where. And now I have 3 partners now, but I had 2 partners going into it. Great partners, and all of us are willing to work constantly, bro.
Yeah.
I'm talking about we lived in the hospital the first 6 months because we didn't know how to run a hospital. We never ran a hospital before.
Yeah.
And we were out in Tijuana, Mexico.
What a crazy pivot, man.
I know.
That's crazy.
It was wild. That's still wild to this day. But they're all, as we're talking about hard work, I'm thinking like, that's what it is. Like we were willing to, Scotty, one of my partners, mortgaged his house to pay the bills over COVID. I mean, we've almost been bankrupt. I don't know how many times, 3, 4, or 5 times. I've lost count basically.
Yeah.
But over COVID, I had to sell my truck just to make payroll.
Yeah, man.
And this is just like 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah, man.
So, but you got to be willing to lose everything
to get
and work harder than anybody.
That's the thing, man. Nowadays, I just think people have lost that understanding.
Yes.
It's like, bro, you gotta give it all the way up. It's never gonna happen if you can't give it all the way up.
No.
Because I just think the universe, God, is not going to give you something if you don't understand what it is to like lose it all.
Right.
It's pointless.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
And there are people who are lucky and things never go wrong, but I just don't, not a lot of those folks out here, bro.
Yeah, I mean, eventually something's going to go wrong.
Something happened. Yeah.
And then you don't want success without really, earning it because then you don't appreciate it.
Yeah, well, I was telling myself that the other day, man. So like 20-something years of music, man, and I'm like, you know what? I'm really glad I didn't get rich at 25. Stupid, crazy rich at 25, because I just would probably be broke now. I think this is my time. I think this is when it's supposed to happen. And, I'm just prepared for all of that now. It's like I've seen enough. I've learned enough. It's like, let's go. Let's see what happens at this point, you know? So that huge amount of success is what I'm yearning now. It's like, that's where I want to be with it. So.
Well, I'll say this, and my partners and I talk about this a lot, actually. I feel like there's never been an easier time to be successful in this country.
Yeah.
Because you have so many people who aren't willing to work hard.
That's right.
And like, you know, I heard Dana White say, like, just be a savage. Like, yeah, I try to be I try to be honest. Always, like, our thing is we always try to do the right thing no matter what. Even if it doesn't necessarily benefit us.
Yeah.
Do the right thing, but be a savage.
Yeah, dude, between technology and lazy people.
Yes.
You got that. You're up one.
Man, you're up one.
Big time.
So you just got to find the guy that's got the talent, but is willing to work harder than everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, think about Wolf. Think about Jelly.
Yeah, man.
I mean, Jelly Roll literally, you know, gave up. He was living out of a van.
Yeah, come on.
He was
crazy.
Broke as hell.
Yeah.
Dealing with his addiction.
Yeah.
And, you know, never lost that faith.
Yeah, man.
He had a great woman behind him too.
Yeah.
You know, Bunny had his back the whole way. But, you know, if you're willing to risk it all and then work that hard.
Yeah, man.
In today's society, you're going to get your break eventually.
Yeah.